Hello, this is Dr. Freedom, everyone, and today I've had the very, very distinct honor of talking with Chase Masterson. Hello, Chase. How are you doing today?
Hi, I'm great, Brian. Thanks for having me here. How are you?
Oh, just fine, just fine. Yeah, it seems like you've been rather, rather busy lately. Let's see. Let's start off with the present. You founded the Pop Culture Anti-Bullying Coalition. I've been hearing quite a bit about it between Facebook, Twitter, and whatnot. Would you like to tell us, what it's a little bit about, why you founded it?
Thank you for asking. I'm so excited about this. We're really making a difference in a lot of people's lives. I realized that no one had ever stood up against bullying on an official level at a pop culture convention, at any Comic Con or Star Trek Con, etc. And yet, this is what these stories are about. Star Trek and Doctor Who, pop culture, all of that is really about tales of heroism and of standing up against the darkness, the things that hurt us, the things that hurt each other, and making the world a better place. And I wanted to do something to make a difference. Um, I'd been mentoring kids coming out of gangs at a place called Homeboy Industries for about 6 years, and dealing with people who have done really bad things and yet have made a courageous decision to turn their lives around and are really doing well. And I realized that nobody's beyond hope, that everybody is able to turn their life in a great direction and make a real strong difference. At the same time, right about when I'd been mentoring for about 6 years, I was approached by an anti-bullying expert named Carrie Goldman. She is a fantastic author and public speaker about the subject of bullying. And do you want me to tell you the story of how I was approached by Carrie? It's a really cool story.
Oh, go right ahead.
Okay, great. Well, Carrie's daughter had been bullied in elementary school. Her name was Katie, and she was 6 years old. And you may have heard of her. She's named Katie the Star Wars girl and is a bit of an internet phenomenon. Katie's amazing. She was 6 years old and loved Star Wars and carried her Star Wars lunchbox to school. And she got bullied because they said girls don't like Star Wars. And this broke Katie's heart because she loves Star Wars. And a lot of us, anyway, Katie's mom, Carrie, wrote about this on her blog. Um, Carrie is a writer. She has a blog on Chicago Now. And a bunch of us heard about this and stood up for Katie, saying, we're women, we love science fiction, we love these stories, don't worry about what anybody else says, just be you. And it really went viral, and so many people started standing up for Katie. Well, this made Katie feel a lot better, and also it just created a lot of awareness about what's going on, in the world of science fiction, about how many kids get bullied for liking the stories that we love, etc. So Carrie decided to write a book, and HarperCollins bought it, and it's called Bullied: What Every Parent, Teacher, and Kid Needs to Know About Ending the Cycle of Fear. And it's one of the go-to books now on ending bullying. Carrie interviewed me and a lot of the other actors that stood up for Katie. Um, just on an incidental note, well, something that was really fun is that I got to introduce Katie to Peter Mayhew. I was part of the connection on putting those two together. Peter Mayhew had done a movie that I was in, that I produced actually, and I'd known him for years and years. And so it was kind of cool where one minute little 6-year-old Katie is getting bullied for loving Star Wars, and the next minute she's friends with Chewbacca. And, right? Isn't that cool?
That's awesome.
Yeah, thank you. Well, we just want to make a difference in people's lives and realize that we have a great ability to do that. And so Katie has become like a real cheerleader for other women, other what am I saying, girls, like elementary school and now junior high kids loving science fiction. And Katie's mom asked me to help her get the word out about her book, the HarperCollins book, into Comic Con. She asked me to help her get a place to sign at Comic Con. And I said, well, let's not just sign at Comic Con. Let's start a revolution. Let's really make a big difference and get as many people on board as much as we can and make a big noise and really make steps to end bullying. So, so I formed the coalition in 2013. with Carrie, and a lot of amazing entities have come on board. I called the United Nations Association, which is a group of people I had no contact to. I looked them up on the internet, got the phone number on the internet, and called them, and I said, "Hi, this is Chase from Star Trek. We are doing this stand against bullying, and you guys stand against bullying, right? We're going to take this into Comic-Cons. Will you work with us?" And they were thrilled. They're like, "Comic-Con? Oh my gosh, we've always wanted to go to Comic-Con." And this is the UN, and it's a really cool thing to have that kind of focus and attention. The parallels are very clear to me. They stand against bullying on an international level, but we're working against bullying on a much smaller, but much more, not much more, but much smaller, but um, equally pertinent level. This happens in our daily lives to people that we love, and bullying starts as children. People grow up to be international bullies because they started out as childhood bullies a lot of times. So anyway, I'm rambling, but I'm
That's all right.
so proud of this coalition, and we're at antibullyingcoalition.com. We are rebranding now as the Pop Culture Hero Coalition, and I think that may actually be the first time I've said that publicly, but we're starting to rebrand, and that will be our new name, the Pop Culture Hero Coalition. And we're just, I'll say one more thing. We're about helping people take the steps to become heroes in real life.
That is great to hear. That sounds like such a noble effort there. That's just so great.
Thank you.
I can't wait to hear more about it. I like the new title, by the way. That's a nice rebrand.
Thank
Um,
you. We're excited. Well, studies show, I'll just tell you real quick, studies show that teaching heroism and leading in heroism as a positive thing makes a bigger difference when it's taught in schools than standing against bullying. It's more of a positive way of framing the issue. I'll tell you one more thing. Matt Langdon is a new partner of ours, excuse me, a new partner who is based in Australia. He founded something called the Hero Roundtable and the Hero Construction Company, and we're learning a lot about heroism from Matt. So I'll be running this organization with Carrie and Matt, and it's exciting.
and it is. It does. It sounds exciting. It's very great. Yeah. I'm just. Oh my gosh, it makes me want to lose my words right there. It's just such a touching thing because I think everybody's been bullied at one time in their life. Or and so it brings a deeper understanding to that.
Yeah,
And, it's like it almost makes my next question. I feel so cheap now. um,
no worries.
uh, I hear you're working on some new projects upcoming pretty soon. Would you like to talk about any of those, or?
Thanks so much. Yeah. Well, one thing that I've got going that's very exciting is I just finished recording season 3 of my Doctor Who spinoff, which you are probably familiar with. I've been working with Big Finish, which is the audio adventure company based in London, and they do the BBC licensed audio version of Doctor Who. They use the original Doctors and are extremely popular in England, catching on more over here. I played opposite Tom Baker in one episode and Sylvester McCoy in another episode. My character opposite Sylvester went over very well. We broke the internet. Sales were fantastic even before the project came out, and they asked me, "Chase, would you like your own spinoff?" So I technically have my own Doctor Who spinoff in the audio world. It's called Vienna, and I play Vienna, this impossibly glamorous mercenary assassin with a heart of gold. Um, I always land on the side of good. There are reasons that I have this kind of vengeance lifestyle that I have, and it's a really fun show. It's set in the basic Doctor Who universe with some adjustments, and I love the show partly because it's really good science fiction. There are fantastic stories that would just be too expensive to tell on the big screen or on TV. And in the audio adventure world, you can hear these stories and see them in your mind and it's really fun and great to take on a commute anywhere that you can listen to something. Um, and another reason I love Vienna, I'll just say this one more thing, is because it's funny. It's super funny science fiction. A lot of science fiction is cheesy funny, like, and not a lot, but the science fiction that is comedy tends to be cheesy comedy sci-fi. But this is actually funny stuff, but really good science fiction at the same time. So I'm very proud of it.
Okay, had you ever heard of Doctor Who before you got involved in any of this?
Oh, yes, of course. My goodness. I have my favorite doctors. Actually, I've always loved Sylvester as a doctor. He's just fantastic. And also I'm a big fan of Tom Baker and Colin Baker, and I love the show.
Okay, have you watched any of the new series?
I have. I haven't watched every episode. I'm not that familiar with it. Just to be perfectly honest, I've been so busy with my own stuff and forming this coalition in the last couple of years. But I'm so excited for it. Bringing Doctor Who to whole new generations. It's fantastic. I mean, everything that Doctor Who stands for, and his his outlook on using no violence and the sonic screwdriver and doing good things through space and time is a beautiful message. I think everybody should watch it.
Oh, I've been watching Doctor Who myself for 30 years. I'm a big fan of the audios, and it's just incredible that it's still going on now. 50 plus
It
years.
is. It
It's still.
really is. Yeah.
While I
Who's
got to talk,
your doctor?
oh, my favorite Doctor. You see, that's the problem. Everyone always asks me that question. I can't really narrow it down because each one of them has a characteristic I really, really like. I started with Tom,
Uh-huh.
so I
Yeah.
have to say Tom Baker because he was my first Doctor. But each one of them has I especially love the new guy, Peter Capaldi. I'm in love with him. He's fantastic. So if you haven't had a chance to watch any of his,
Oh, that's cool.
he's
Yay.
incredible. Um, but now back to you.
That's cool.
Okay, while we're on Big Finish,
It's all good.
are we allowed to mention anything? I heard you might be working on Series 3 of Survivors. Are we allowed to talk about that any? Or
Yeah, I think the word has leaked out on that, and yes, I'm happy to say that is going to be fantastic. Survivors is a really powerful show. The stories that they're telling, expanding on the series, are just really really strong, and I'm excited to be a part of it. I can't say too much, but I will say that Maddie is back. She's back with a vengeance, and she's as determined as ever, and I'm having a lot of fun playing her. Carolyn Seymour, who originated her role of Abby in the original TV show in England in the 70s, is also back. And gosh, I'm not sure how much I'm supposed to say about it. I will tell you that it was nominated for a BBC Audio Award. Um, and I think that was last season, so we're going to go for another one this season. It's being script edited by Matt Fitton, who's a fantastic writer, directed by Ken Bentley, who does a whole lot of the Big Finish and is a superb director, and I'm truly excited about that.
okay, well, what must have been like though? You come into the recording studio the first time and you find out you're going to be working with Tom Baker. This person from science fiction. How did that hit you?
Oh, that was so exciting. And, I mean, you have to really put all of that aside, though. You have to just realize that he's an actor and you're an actor. And yes, obviously he's an icon, but we're all there to do our jobs. And, you can have one or two fangirl moments, but it's about the work. It's about telling a great story. And I think, the bigger an actor is, the more they appreciate and need you to be just who you are, just down to earth, and just treat them like they're a person, an exciting, fascinating person with a great history. But it's really important to make those separations in work.
Yeah, you have to stay professional. Even if your heart's going crazy.
Sure, yeah. I mean, I've been, really honored to work with a bunch of cool people. I played opposite Bruce Campbell for the very first Sci-Fi Channel original movie. So you have us to blame for that, for those. Bruce is fantastic, and just the great guy that you'd think he would be. But it's just really important to just see people as just fun people who love the work just like I do, just like all of us do. Some people have had more success for each other than some people have had more success than others. It doesn't mean they're any different than you and me, you know?
Yeah. Okay. All right. Heading away from Big Finish, but staying in the present. What really wowed me is that you recently appeared on The Flash. How did that happen?
That was fun. I had taken some time off doing television because of some personal issues, and I was, um, I was, sorry about that. Um, my my very dear friend Andrew Kreisberg is the executive producer, one of the executive producers of Flash and Arrow and the new Supergirl and Legends, and he said, "Hey, come on back to TV. I'm going to write something for you," and he just called with this, and he said, here it is. I didn't have to audition or anything, and it was really fun. It was, a small role, 5 lines, but it was still a nice way to be invited back into television. The Flash was given the honor of being the, what was it, People's Choice for Favorite New Drama. And, to be on a show like that, just asked back into TV, was super fun. I loved working with Jesse Martin, who I worked with, and Carlos Valdez, two incredibly fine actors. And I think that's the thing that makes The Flash so good, is that it really is, it's got fantastic work on camera, and also it's about great story. It's not about superheroes. These stories could be told in any medium, and it just happens to be set against the background of a superhero's life. Just a regular boy turned superhero. Which the best
This
ones all are. So anyway, that has been exciting. Thanks for asking.
okay. Or is there any chance we're going to see that mysterious woman in the
Hello?
house again? Or
We'll see. You can always ask.
okay, we know
Keep
you
those
never know.
tweets coming. Yeah, no, I have no problem with anybody asking for Sherry to come back. I'd love it, in fact. We've had a lot of requests. We'll see what happens.
Okay. Is there any other? Are you working on any movies that we should see right now? Or
I am, yeah, I'm attached to a film called RUR, which is we've done a short that is a concept piece to raise money for a feature. RUR is written and directed by James Kerwin, who wrote and directed another fantastic show that I did, film that I did called Yesterday Was a Lie. Yesterday Was a Lie is science fiction noir, shot in classic black and white. And it's a beautiful film. I really highly recommend it to anybody. Yesterdaywasalie.com. You can find it on Amazon. I play a mysterious singer, and this film deals a lot with time travel and, well, I wouldn't say time travel, but dimension travel. You just really have to see it. It's really fantastic science fiction. Anyway, this same team is doing RUR. RUR is based on the classic Czechoslovakian play RUR, Rossum's Universal Robots, and it was the very first time the word robot was ever used. Robot means worker in Czech, in the Czech language, and so this play was written in 1918. It was the inspiration for Metropolis and Blade Runner and every other time that there's ever been, a created being in science fiction. RUR was the beginning of all that. We got the rights to do the film, and so we shot like I said, we shot a concept piece. I think you can find it at rurfilm.com, and the team is raising money for the feature. So that's one thing. You can check out the short and stay tuned, rurfilm.com. There's another film that I'm attached as the lead to. I'm the title role in a film called Vendetta Vet, and it's an action piece that they're currently raising financing for, and I'm looking forward to that. I've got a couple other things in the works, but not really allowed to talk about them yet. So you can always stay tuned through my Twitter, which is at Chase Masterson, or my Facebook page, which is, I think, just Chase Masterson page.
Okay. We're really looking forward to those. I heard you did have an announcement, but I won't press you because I know you can't talk about those as yet. Coming back to Star Trek, a lot of people, of course, remember you as Lita from Deep Space Nine. Matter of fact, that's where I first saw you at.
Okay.
A lot of people don't know that you're also involved in Star Trek of Gods and Men.
Yes.
Independent feature. Also, you also apparently did voiceovers for the Starship Farragut animated episodes. But my big question is, have you ever thought about appearing in any of the other online Trek productions, such as Star Trek Continues or Phase 2, anything along that line? Or?
You know, if I did, it would have to be a really great role. I think it would have to be something that was just a phenomenal role. I love those teams. I think that they're very talented. I especially love what Star Trek Continues is doing. Vic Mignogna is fantastic, and James Kerwin, the writer-director that I just mentioned, is on board Star Trek Continues, writing and directing for them. I just think that having done so many years of Trek, and also having already done Star Trek of Gods and Men, I've also done Star Trek Online, you know, it's probably best for me to keep my focus career-wise on other things.
Oh, very true.
But never say never, you know.
Yeah. Also, a lot of people out there may not be aware that you're also a singer. And is there any, new music projects you got coming out right now? Or?
Thanks for asking. Yeah, I am actually in the process of doing a new CD. There's a producer named Dave Pell, who is 90 years old, who is a very dear friend of mine. He produced Sinatra and Count Basie. He played saxophone with the Rat Pack and was just a really amazing force of music. Still is, you know, and has been for many years. He is going to produce my next CD. We've worked together on a few songs for other CDs, and he's going to produce the entire CD for my next one, which is very exciting. We're going to be doing an Indiegogo campaign for that, and I'd love fan support on that. I'm doing my best to put good into the world, and would sure love to do this project for me and for my work. So I'm hoping fans will climb on board and help us make that CD. Dave Pell is a fantastic producer. Look him up, and we'll be doing golden era music, the kind of stuff that Sinatra sang. I'm really excited about keeping that music alive.
Oh, okay. See, one question that pops into mind, a friend of mine asked me to ask you this one. He just wanted to know, was there any type of role that you've wanted to play that you haven't had a chance to yet, that you're really striving to get to?
You know, a lot of people ask that. I think part of the thing is that because Lita was so light, I think a lot of people have seen me in that light, you know, as light, fun, that whole thing. I'd really like to play more of the kind of person that I am. I think that would be fun. To do something like, I don't know, somebody who really cares about strong issues and is extremely involved in making good happen in the world. A doctor, a lawyer, a therapist. Lita was involved in strong issues, definitely, and she was very concerned about good. Obviously, she stood up for the Ferengi Rebellion, and she stood up for what she believed was right between she and Rom, wearing clothes to her wedding. But at the same time, I think that there was obviously a lightness to Lita that I'm wanting to do other work, and I'm happy that I have. I just want to keep that going. Grounded, down to earth characters who take a risk.
Oh, okay. All right, the last question I have for you. Are there any other science fiction programs or sagas that you really like that maybe you'd like to work in the future?
Oh, gosh. Well, I sure do love everything that's happening with DC Comics on screen. Like I said, Andrew Kreisberg and Greg Berlanti are doing fantastic work. Mark Guggenheim is, they're amazing. So I'd love to come back and do something more in the DC universe. I will say, or Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., that would be fantastic. I'm not big on horror, so I have no desire to do any zombie series or Walking Dead or anything like that. I want to do work that makes a difference, and I'm doing that. Sometimes on screen, sometimes off screen, and that's the main thing that's important to me.
Okay. Now I know you have an appointment to get to, so I would just really love it, Chase, if I could have you back on sometime in the future for a small Q&A panel. Would you like to do that?
I'd love that. Yeah, we can take questions from fans. Sure, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, let's do that.
I know you have a business thing to get to, so I'm going to go ahead and let you get going. I just want to thank you again for your time. It's been an incredible experience, learning a bit more about you, what you represent, and especially, the pop culture anti-bullying thing. That's just amazing stuff.
Well, thank you so much. Follow us on at AntiBullying Co. So that's at AntiBullying Co. on Twitter. We are also at Pop Culture Anti-Bullying Coalition on Facebook. And again, find me at Chase Masterson on Twitter. I'd love to keep you guys posted of what's going on.
Alrighty. I just want to say, thanks again. It's been incredible. And for the rest of the folks out there listening, enjoy the rest of your evening.
Oh, thank you so much. Enjoy your day, and I really appreciate all of this. God bless you guys.